All rise. Judge Diva's court is now in session. I'm going to tell y'all the rules of this court. Okay. Judge Diva is to be referred to as Your Honor. Okay. There will be no loud talking in the courtroom, no over talking. There will be no interruptions in these proceedings. All hats and caps must be removed when you enter the courtroom. No kids are allowed. No smoking is allowed in the building. The juror must get the information from the case itself and not from any other social media outlets, research accounts, or looking into information. Only consider the evidence presented during this trial. Litigators, direct our remarks to the judge. Be respectful of the opposing side. Do not cause an interruption. All rise.
Who am I to judge? Judge Diva's in the building. The Honorable Judge Diva is in the building. And like the Bella told you, respect the judge. Now I'm going to bring the lawyers in the building. First, I will bring the prosecution team. And let me bring them in. The lead on the prosecution. Let me see. Where are they? Okay, District Attorney E, you're in the building. Are you there?
Hello.
Thank you. Deputy E, you're in the building.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Appreciate
E for the people.
E for the people. Come on now. And we got the YouTube Law team coming in the building. Okay, we got YouTube Law, Felicia and Katrina. Are you ready?
Hello, Your Honor.
Oh, shoot. Okay, now. Bella, before we release you and you come back later, is there anything else you need to say to the lawyers?
Be respectful of the time. No foolery, or I will lock you up.
I know that's
and everybody else, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Appreciate you, because after 20 minutes in, it will be subscribers only, and you won't be able to comment. Now, before you leave, Bella, we did do a poll. The poll was a tad bit disrespectful. Only 88% believe that I will be fair, and the 11% feel that I will not be fair. Can you go out in the streets, Bella, and find that 11% and kick them out of my court?
Will do, Your Honor.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So, and the Bella will be back later. So now we're going to go ahead and get into this court case, okay? So we got our participants, are the paralegals for each team in the building. We want to introduce these paralegals. Tay, what side are you on? And you're a paralegal. We appreciate you.
I'm the defend the Lord. Good evening, Your Honor.
Good evening. Do you know what side you belong on, Tay?
Felicia side.
Okay, the YouTube attorneys. Okay, I appreciate you. Okay, and then we have a missing paralegal for the other side, but they're going to have to make do because court will continue on. Julius, can you tell us your role in this court case?
I am the court of record. And now that we are live, I am letting the chat know. All questions come to me. If they do not, I repeat, if they do not come to me, they will be skipped. Once I see them, I will let the judge know, and the questions will be addressed.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Julius. So we're going to go ahead and release you to the streets, and you will let us know when it's time for me, the lawyers, to answer a question from the streets. I appreciate you, and we will see you later. Now, I need all jurors that are out there. I need you to report to court for jury duty. Please click on the link, and we will be questioning the jurors one by one. Okay? So, Julius, release to the streets, and we shall see you later. Come back in, and as soon as
do I just click leave like that?
Yeah, leave. Yeah, I can help you. I can kick you out. Okay, good job. Okay, so I'm going to bring up everybody. Juror number 1, and we cannot tell you the case until we have picked the jury, because we cannot taint the jurors. All right. We'll bring up first juror number 1, Savannah. Lawyers, are y'all ready?
We're ready, Your Honor.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all.
Your Honor.
Yes.
The defense is ready.
Okay, wonderful. We got juror number 1 in the building. Emmanuel, you can question juror number 1.
Good evening. I'm going to go ahead and let my deputy attorney do the line of questioning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Deputy,
you.
go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Potential juror number 1, I would like to ask you a few questions. Please answer yes or no. And if there is a reason, please feel free to elaborate if there is anything that you feel will be beneficial to this line of questioning. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Please say your name for the record.
My full name is Savannah 912.
Thank you, Savannah 912. I will refer to you as Savannah from here on out. My first question is, do you think all men are bad?
No, ma'am, I do not believe all men are bad.
Are you opposed to single fathers having full custody of minor children?
No, ma'am, I am not opposed to single fathers having custody of children.
Have you ever been in a DV relationship, or do you know anyone in your immediate family who has lost their life to DV?
No, ma'am, I have not been a victim of a DV relationship. I came from a home of a DV relationship. My father was a abuser, but my mother removed us from that home. But I did not I did not marry a person who was uh, a violent person. Um, but I did not experience that in my marriage.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever used the court for your own personal gain to either manipulate, seek revenge, or inflict punishment on a partner or family member?
No, ma'am, I have not.
Are you a registered Pow Pow owner?
No, ma'am, I am not.
Have you ever been involved in a physical altercation with a family member?
No, ma'am, I have not.
Has there ever been a time where you felt you had to call the police out of fear you would be harmed by a romantic partner or loved one?
Your Honor,
No,
at this point, I have a question for the judge, please.
Yes.
Is there a time limit on this questioning? Is there a number amount of questions that one can be asked?
Okay, so she because we have a lot more jurors to go through. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. We will limit the questions to 5 per juror. Okay, so
Very well.
thank you very much, Deputy Attorney E. District YouTube Law, you're up.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. Thank you, juror number 1. As the judge indicated, this matter will be given in more detail once the jurors have been chosen. So my question to you is, can you be an impartial juror? And what does that mean? Can you be free from any favor toward any one particular side? Can you be without prejudice in a matter of any case where you can be open-minded and hear the facts of the matter and make a decision then?
yes, ma'am, I can be open-minded and impartial. As I have stated, I came from a home where my biological was an abuser. And however, I did not experience that in my marriage. So I also
Is she there?
work in the community with women who experience DV in their relationships. So I know and find resources for men and women.
Okay, and juror number 1, have you ever sought forgiveness for something you've done from the person you have injured?
Yes, ma'am. I do ask for forgiveness and seek um, forgiveness and matters of forgiveness. So yes, ma'am, I do.
Well, thank you so much. I'm done, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, I appreciate you. Juror number 1, you can leave the building, and when the court, when the lawyers decide on who they want, those individuals will come back in. We appreciate your time, And don't totally leave. Just remain in the chat, and we will let you know if you are selected as a juror. Sebastian, thank you for the super chat. He said, may I call in for a quick question as I am currently working? Sebastian, we need jurors that are going to be fully attentive. We love you, but you may have to come to the next court case. So I think in this time, Sebastian, you have forfeited your opportunity to be a juror, but we still love you. All right. Thank you, Sebastian, for your services. Okay. And thank you for the super chat. We will bring up the next juror, and that juror is named Shan. Okay. E, you're up for questioning of juror number 2.
Hello, juror number 2. I am Deputy Attorney E. I represent the stage. I will ask you a series of 3 questions. I will require that you answer yes or no. Are you prepared to answer these questions?
Hello. Yes.
Very well. Have you ever been in a DV relationship, or do you know anyone in your immediate family who has lost their life to DV?
No.
Have you ever been involved in a physical altercation with a family member, which has resulted you calling the police out of fear you would be harmed?
No.
Have you ever stood up for a man being verbally or physically attacked by a woman before?
Hell no. No.
Juror number 2, I must remind you of the etiquette of this court.
3 questions, Your Honor, pretty much.
Okay.
Excuse me, Your Honor. I'm speaking to the juror number 2 and reminding them of court etiquette, and I will ask permission to treat this juror as hostile if further language persists. But the prosecution rests, Your Honor.
I appreciate you. YouTube attorneys, you're up.
Thank you so much, juror number 2. So I want to ask you, since the prosecution asked you about a DV relationship, that typically is what you would call an abusive relationship. Can you give me a quick definition of what an abusive relationship means to you?
An abusive relationship is invading one's privacy without their permission. It could be emotional, physical, it could be many layers that is unwanted and harmful to the other party.
Thank you for that. And I'd like to ask you, where do you go to relax?
I go to the spa.
Okay, thank you so much, juror number 2.
Juror number 2, thank you. We appreciate you. Can you remain in the chat, and we will let you know if you're going to be selected as a juror in this case. Next up, team, 3 questions each. We have juror Wayne, juror number 3.
Yes.
Your Honor, we would like the defense to ask the first question, as the defense has interrupted the prosecution twice during questioning, so we would like them to get their time.
Yes. Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Juror number 3.
Yes.
How would you define truth?
Truth. I would say truth is knowing that what you speak on is factual. Truth, your thoughts coming from your heart that you believe to be true or to be honest.
Okay. And do you enjoy playing cards?
Yes.
And what is the enjoyment that you get from playing cards?
I like the competition. I like the camaraderie with your partner, depending on the game you're playing.
And what would you say is your best game?
Spades.
Okay. Thank you so much, juror number 3.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, juror number 3. I am Deputy Attorney E. I do have a series of 2 questions I would like to ask you. Are you a registered Pow Pow owner?
No, I'm not.
Very good. Have you ever taken out a restraining order on someone, or has someone ever taken out a restraining order on you?
No, they have not. I have not.
Very well. Thank you, juror number 3.
Thank you.
All right, juror number 3, we appreciate your time. Please remain in the chat, and we'll let you know if you're going to be selected as a juror.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. So, in replace of juror Sebastian, we have a mystery juror, and that mystery juror is Miss Fall. Miss Fall, welcome into the courtroom.
Thank you for having me.
We thank you for replacing Sebastian. So, prosecution, ask your questions.
Thank
Good
you, Your
day.
Honor. Ms. Fall, good evening. How are you?
Good evening. I'm well. Thank you for asking.
The question I have for you, how do you resolve conflict in 10 words or less?
I originally would try to use my words, and if not, then I would use force.
Can you give an example of when you use words versus when you use force?
I was in an altercation in college, and someone attempted to attack me, and I told them repetitively that I wasn't trying to fight, and they wanted to fight, and so I had to fight them for self-defense.
Thank you, juror number 4.
Ooh. All right. Deputy E.
Juror number 4, I'm going to ask you a series of 2 questions. 1, do you have respect for law and order?
Absolutely.
How many times have you been to court in your life?
Personal or business?
Both.
A lot of times.
If you had to guess, would you say less than 5 or
More than 5.
Would that be more than 10?
More than 10.
More than 20?
More than 20.
Thank you, juror number 5.
Juror
That's
number
juror
4.
That was number 4.
Juror number 4. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you. We need you to go in the chat, and once the lawyers decide on who their jurors will be, if you are called, you will come back in the building. Thank you so much, juror number 4, and thank you for replacing Sebastian. Appreciate you. Okay. Let's bring up the next juror. Juror number 5, Leo is in the building. Hold on one second. Precious Gem, thank you so much for the super chat. For the look okay, Judge Diva. Come on now. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Leo, juror number 5 is in the building. Go ahead. District Attorney, your side goes. Deputy E.
Hello, juror number 5. I do have a series of 3 questions I would like to ask. 1, have you ever been involved in a DV relationship, or do you know anyone personal to you in your immediate family who has been involved in a DV relationship?
No. Good evening, District Attorney E. No, I've never personally been involved in a DV relationship, but I do know someone very close to me who has.
Thank you. Do you believe that women and men face similar challenges when it comes to DV? Do you believe that men can equally be affected by DV just as women?
Yes.
And last question, have you ever been to court for someone taking a restraining order out on you, or have you ever taken a restraining order out on someone?
Yes, I have been to court with someone who has taken out a restraining order on a partner. And no, I have never taken out a restraining order against someone.
One final question, although I said 3. Do you believe that honesty should be spoken in a court case so that the ultimate truth can be discovered? Do you have respect for the court in that way? And do you believe that the truth should come out?
Yes, I do respect the court, and I do believe that the truth should come out.
Very well. Thank you, jury number 5.
Okay.
Juror number 5, thank you so much. Follow up to the DA's questioning. What is your definition and the purpose of a restraining order?
Well, it depends on whether or not we're speaking civilly or criminally. A criminal restraining order it depends upon the terms of the restraining order. It could be written in words that may say something to the effect of no contact, certain amount of feet, no social media, or harassing behavior due through words or email, electronically, in that form.
Would you also say that it is a legal document issued by a court to protect the safety of an individual?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, what is your definition of truth?
So I do believe that it's relative. So your own personal definition of truth can be what you believe the facts are.
So if I give you what is fact, you then will determine in your mind your thoughts and come away with an opinion, not based on the fact?
Yes. Well, okay. So you say, I need clarification, Madam Prosecutor. You're asking me, based on facts that I receive, I will come up with an opinion.
Do you dismiss what is the truth?
No, if you're presenting me facts with evidence.
Thank you. Thank you, Juror number 5.
All right. I appreciate you. Juror number 5, your instructions are not to leave the building. Let's go down in the chat. And soon we got 2 more jurors to interview, and then the lawyers will make their decision.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right. We got another great juror coming through. Marcella's in the building, and she is juror number 6.
Hello, court.
Hello. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, we hear you. Thank you, juror number 6, Marcella. Deputy E, you are up.
Hello. And this is juror number 6, Your Honor?
Yes, it is.
Juror number 6, I must ask you, have you ever been in a DV relationship, or do you know someone who has been in a DV relationship?
No, I've never been in a DV relationship, but my parents were.
Very good. Thank you for that. Do you believe that men are entitled to just as much protection when it comes to DV relationships as women?
I believe that both parties need to be protected, men or women. Men do get abused as well.
Thank you. My final question is, will you be able to, do you consider yourself an objective and critical, do you consider yourself an objective listener and a critical thinker when it comes to listening to the facts and being able to interpret things that may require some thinking outside of the box? How well do you do with thinking outside of the box? What do you think of that?
I think that I'm a great listener, and I do think outside of the box, and I am opinionated, but I am willing to listen to other people's opinions as well, and hope that we come to the same consensus together.
Jury number 6, the state thanks you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, juror number
Juror,
6. Mm-hmm.
juror number 6, thank you for
Yes,
coming up.
Deputy.
I have a question, a
Yes.
very intense question for you.
Yes.
How much are you influenced by social media?
I am trained to dig for the facts, and I am trained to make sure that I am listening to all the facts before I give my assessment.
And how do you define a fact?
I define fact by following a trail and to go to more than one YouTuber to see who has the same story, or sometimes I will reach out to the defendants, people for everyday to have evidence.
And one final question, what is your comfort food?
My comfort food is Oreos. I like them black with the white in the middle.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Juror number
welcome.
6.
Juror number 6, I appreciate you. Please
Thank
don't
you.
in the building, be in the chat, and
Okay.
we'll let you know in a little bit who will be selected as a juror. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We're going to bring up juror number 7. And this is the last call for any juror that is out there that got summons. If you're missing, this is the last call for you to click on the link and enter into the building for your jury duty. Okay? All right. Dustin is juror number 7. Juror number 7 is in the building. Hello, Dustin. Okay, you're juror number 7. E, go ahead and question juror number 7.
Hello, juror number 7. I have one question for you. Do you believe that you should tell the truth to the courts and to all members of law enforcement at all times?
Yes, I do.
Let me rephrase this next question. Do you believe people who lie to law enforcement should be punished?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe that people who take the lives of others should be in prison?
Yes.
Thank you. Juror number 7.
Thank you, Dustin. My
Objection.
What happened?
The juror has not stated their name for the record.
Oh.
Okay.
But the judge did.
I did. Okay, go ahead.
Juror number 7, thank you. I'd like for you to share with us an act of kindness that you've done for someone recently.
Well, I always do an act of kindness for anybody, so I don't know how to explain that to you.
I'd like an example of such, please.
Well, I always always be there for Juice Radio and Talk Show, and always be there for everybody on the panel. So I don't know how to explain it for you.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell me what your favorite flavor of ice cream is?
Vanilla.
Can you be an impartial juror? What does that mean, to be impartial? It means to be free from any favor towards any particular side. It means to have an absence of favor or prejudice.
Yes, I can do that.
Thank you, juror number 7.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Did one of your did your lawyer fall out, Felicia?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, Dustin, drop down, please. Is that your lawyer? Drop down.
I'm back. I had to answer my phone for my grandson. I got to pick him up from work.
Okay. Dustin, drop down in the chat, and we will let you know if you are selected as a juror. Okay, we'll call you back in. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay. Doc from DC is going to be our last juror. Doc from NC is going to be our last juror. that will come in the building. And after this, the lawyers will let us know who they want. Doc from DC, how are you?
I'm doing.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. A district YouTube law, ask Doc DC your questions.
Thank you, Doc DC.
Good evening. I'm doing well. How are you all, Judge? And
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Yes,
This is
I
juror
can hear
number
you.
8, Your Honor. Is that correct?
Yes, juror number 8, yes.
Okay. Juror number 8, would you please define to me what
Yes.
is truth?
Not.
Uh-oh. Doc from NC, we're not able to hear you. We want to give you one more opportunity because to be a potential juror. Can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you, but I'm hearing a feedback on your end. Sound like several people are talking at a time.
Do you have all your other browsers with the show closed?
Okay.
You do?
Yes, everything is closed.
Okay. Are you still hearing a lot of feedback? All right. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Yes. Can you? Yes, I do.
Okay, you can hear us?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead. YouTube law.
YouTube law. Can you hear me?
I can, but I'm getting some breakup here, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry, Doc from NC. There's a delay. We're not going to be able to interview you as a juror this evening, but we do encourage you to come back when the next time we have court. Okay. I'm
Yes,
so
Your
sorry
Honor.
for that. Thank you for your services. All right. So, lawyers, you have interviewed 7 potential jurors. You're going to have to keep yourself on mute, Katrina. You have interviewed 7 potential jurors. Okay. So now I'm going to ask each side to pick one. Pick one juror each side. Okay. So first I will go to Deputy Attorney E. What juror would you like to bring in to deliberate on this case? Number 1, Savannah. Number 2, Shan. Number 3, Wayne. Number 4, Miss Fall. Number 5, Leo. Number 6, Marcella. Number 7, Dustin.
The people called juror number 3.
Wayne. Got you. Wayne, please click the link and report back in the building for jury duty. Julius, you're gonna have to come back later. I'll call you when to come back in. Okay, because we need the jurors to come in. I appreciate you. Okay, wonderful. All right, Tay, you're gonna have to go in the streets for a minute, and we'll call you when it's time to come back in because we need the jurors to come in the building. Okay. All right. So
yes, ma'am.
Thank you. YouTube attorneys, I need you to pick a juror. We got 1, Savannah. 2, left, Shan. 4, Miss Fall. 5, Leo. 6, Marcella. And 7, Dustin.
We choose juror number 1, Savannah, please.
Okay, Savannah, please report back in the building for jury duty. Okay. And listen, the subscribers will pick our 4-man, our 5th juror. Just give us a minute. So now we're back to Deputy E. We have left juror number 2, Shan. Number 4, Miss Fall. Number 5, Leo. Number 6, Marcella. Number 7, Dustin. Who would you like as your second juror?
The people called Marcella.
Marcella, we need you to report back in the building, juror number 6, for jury duty. I appreciate that. YouTube attorneys, we need you to pick your second juror. We got number 2, Shan. Number 4, Miss Fall. Number 5, Leo. And number 7, Dustin. Who would you like to be juror number 2 for your side?
We respectfully request Leo.
Leo, please click back in the building for jury duty. So we are waiting for Marcella and Leo to come back in for jury duty. Okay, we are now just waiting for Leo to come back in for jury duty. I am now going to put up the poll. Because who do you want to be the foreman, the fifth juror? Who do the people want? Give me a minute. I'm going to add the names here. Do you want it to be juror number 2, Shan? But give me a minute. Let me add the names here. Miss Fall. We had an option here. Who we got left is between Shan, Miss Fall, and Dustin. If I did that right, we got Shan, Miss Fall, and Dustin. Okay, I'm going to give you about 60 seconds to do that poll. The poll is up. We need a 4-person. We got Shan. Take the poll. We got Miss Fall. And we got Dustin. I need y'all to take the poll and pick the 5th juror. So let me bring the jurors in the building. We have Wayne reporting. We have Savannah. We have Marcella. And we have Leo. And we appreciate y'all for reporting the jury duty today. I'm going to give it about another 30 seconds, and then I'm going to close the poll out, and we will see who will be the 4-person for this jury. So hurry up and place your vote. There's a poll out there. It's not about you voting in the chat. It's a poll. You have to hit the button on who you want to be the juror. And I am closing out the poll right now. Closing it out. So I ended the poll. And Shan, we want you to report to jury duty. You will be the 4-person on this jury. And I want to say thank you to everyone and each and every one of the jurors that came through and that was questioned and answered the questions honestly and to the best of their ability. So Shan, we need you to report to jury duty ASAP because we need to get this case started. So jurors, you got to listen to the case. Don't accept text from anybody. If we hear that people are texting you, your friends and family, we will kick you off this jury. So everybody right now, as we're waiting for Shan to come back in the building, somebody find out where there she is, the 4-person in the building. So order in the court because we're about to watch this case and get this thing started. So let me share a screen. Want everybody, and I want everybody to know up front what this court is fighting for, the appeal of this young lady, because the case that we're going to present before you, the young lady was already sentenced to life in prison. So the team, the lawyers, will be fighting for her appeal. They're appealing the case. So let me go ahead and share the screen. Everybody just make sure you're muted while we hear this case. Put up a little bit.
Your Honor, the first case we have is the People versus Sakina Muhammad. This is case 22-05425 FC. Please state your appearances for the record.
Alex Ranowski on behalf of Sakina Muhammad, who is present with me in court.
Good afternoon to everyone. Have both parties, as well as Ms. Muhammad, had the opportunity to review the pre-sentence report?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
I don't think I got any objections. Are there any?
No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
All right. There is one offense before the court, that is a first-degree murder conviction following a trial in this case. There is also a felony firearm conviction in this case as well. The first-degree murder conviction carries a mandatory life without parole sentence. The felony firearm offense carries 2 years consecutive that must be served before and then consecutive to the murder sentence in the case. And Ms. Richardson, would the people like to be further heard?
No, Your Honor, but we do, Mr. Winston's not would like to make a statement.
Now would be the time.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi. I want to start off with a word from my daughter. You took my best friend away from me, my protector. You didn't know him like us, and you never could have loved him like us. My mom's heart is broken. My heart is broken. My whole family hearts are broken. You tried to discard him like he didn't have people that loved him dearly. Ava is missing out on so much love. She was Kwan's heart. You deserve much more than prison, but I guess I'll do it for now. Nothing can bring him back, and I hate your mom didn't teach you any better or get you the help you needed. You are really sick in the head. Riding past my mom's house, stalking my family after committing the ultimate evil act against us. You laughed in our faces, and you showed not 1 ounce of remorse or regret. Prison isn't enough. Kwan has so much life ahead of him. We were supposed to grow old together. It's so much. I have to say so many conversations that we will never get to a chance to have. You took that away from me. Prison will never be enough. Long live Kwan. I want to give big ups to your mama, Ebony. You raised a maniac. You need to put this bitch.
Ma'am, thank you very much.
I'm not done yet. I hate your actions. I hate your soul. I hate your mother for raising a rotten, corrupted, of ugliness, wicked, and cruel scum of the earth. God don't like ugly. And you the ugliest bitch in the world.
Ma'am, I'm going to ask one more time. You speak to me,
wanna-
not to her. Thank
I
you.
want to hate you, but the love of God in me won't let me. I would not let hating you consume me. God himself will deal with you. Karma will handle you and punish you on your behalf. On Kwan's behalf. Karma has no menu. You get served what you deserve. Karma has no expiration date, nor does karma discriminate. 674 days we've been living a hole in our hearts. We've been living with this unimaginable pain and heartache of Kwan's absence. We'll do nearly anything to have him back. A great loss to all of us. My nephew had the biggest heart, the most contagious smile, bearing the unbearable thoughts of never seeing him again, never hearing him again, the loss of the love, the traumatizing death that has left us shattered. All he wanted to do was be a great father to a child that may not even be his. You recently stated it's not Kwan's child, being spiteful and heartless. Ava changed Kwan. He became a better man. He was so proud to hold that title and be a dad. He truly adored his baby girl. He was more of an active parent than you, more loving her, more patient with her than you could have ever been. I can really multiple times you addressing him to hurry home to get his baby because she's getting on your nerves. What baby or infant gets on a mother's nerves? What could she possibly do? You took Kwan for her. You took him from us. You took yourself from Ava. You robbed him of his life. All for what? Not because you had to, but because you wanted to. You're a monster, and your heart is wicked. Not only did you take Kwan's life, but you took ours. My mom, Kwan's mom, myself, Kwan's siblings, also his nieces and nephews that deeply adored him. The pain you have caused our family is a constant reminder of the profound and irreplaceable loss, forever leaving a fragment of ourselves missing too. The last conversation I had with my nephew, he said, all I want to do is work and take care of my baby. The conversation was so deep and so sincere, I could hear growth and maturity. You cheated Ava. You took away literally the best thing that could have happened to her. I don't see a great future for her. I don't see her being any different from you, because the same ignorance, will be raising her. She needs healthy, honest, positive, accountability role models. I pray for her upbringing. She don't have a mother nor father. Now that you would have been a good mother anyhow. Not that you would have been a good mother anyhow. You never gave her a chance from the womb. You smoked marijuana during pregnancy. You never gave me the impression of a good mother. You fused and fought Quan your whole pregnancy because you are a low-class girl who demonstrates live display ratchet behavior. You have a ratchet, trashy personality. You portray to be a cute, innocent girl playing victim when you've literally been the aggressor. You're not innocent. You deliberately took a life, guilty of shooting and killing him. You violently took someone's life that you didn't deserve to breathe the same air as. You act hard and bad, but you're nothing but a disgrace who was never going to amount to anything in the first place, but a mistake that your mother made the day she birthed you. Now your mother will live the rest of her life paying for that mistake and taking on your karma. She raised, let me rephrase. She birthed a piece of shit hood rat. God knows what you did. Just be prepared when judgment day comes. Quan devoted his life taking care of you, your mother, your brother, and Ava. You didn't have to lift a finger nor spend a dollar. He gave you the world and a beautiful baby girl. She'll always be a Winston. Ava Winston, she's the only piece left of him that we cherish. But with your wicked, selfish heart, you took that away. Your actions have completely shattered our hearts. You stole the life of a beautiful soul. We undoubtedly was a better human being and more deserving of life than you'll ever be. I hope that every day your miserable life, worthless life, useful life, you are haunted by Quan's name, his face, his contagious, beautiful smile, and the legacy that you cut short. Although you don't care, because you've shown no remorse from day one. For that, I pray no mercy on your soul. Imagine someone portrayed to love you, shot your daughter in the head, your nephew, Cyree, or your brother, Tony, in the head. Imagine having your heart ripped out of your chest that you've done to us. We have come back and forth to court, angry and enraged, but praying to God to deliver us, to give us strength to return to court to face your ugly, evil self. Trying to remain calm, leave peaceful, and make it another day, bearing the pain and humiliation because you were free with no stipulations. Living your best life free, out on bond, laughing in our faces, riding past my sister's house, threatening my sister, playing club and drinking, alcohol using, drugs, sucking, fucking, shaking your ass on social media, all on social media and jail calls bragging that you're going to beat this case, laughing at our pain. You did that. I hope you enjoyed every second of it because it's over. Time to shine. We got the victory. We got the last laugh. Laugh now, cry later. That's what they say. Not once have you showed no remorse. I believe you're proud of what you did. And the ones cheering you on is just as ignorant as you. Your cheerleaders won't be around long. They'll eventually drift away. I hope and pray that Ava, who fortunately has to share your DNA, know the truth and what you did to her father and how much he adored and cherished her. I hope that she never grow up to know what a waste of a human space you are. I pray that Ava lives a life of love, happiness, and success, a life that you could have never given her. I hope that while you rot in that prison cell, where your short, fat self becomes another inmate, special friend who will make your days miserable, My sister's life is miserable and forever changed from Quan's mother, rotten hell. Now throw that bitch in the grinder. Put that bitch in the grinder.
Ms. Richardson, do people have anything else to say?
No, thank you.
All right. Ms. Zabranowski? Ms. Zabranowski, on behalf of your client, please.
Just very briefly, Your Honor. Ms. Mohammed accepts the jury verdict, however, she does respectfully disagree with it. So I would anticipate an appeal would be filed. Due to that, I would just like to express my condolences to Quan's family. It's a very tragic situation that we're here on today. I believe Ms. Mohammed does have 155 days jail credit as it relates to the felony firearms charge. So I would ask the court to assess that jail credit to her. I would also ask the court to.
As indicated, the offense before the court is a murder conviction as well as a felony firearm conviction. I'm the judge who sat through the trial. I'm certainly not going to go through the entire week's worth of testimony. What I will say is that while the victim, Mr. Winston, and the defendant had been in what witness after witness described as being a somewhat offensive case, $60 DNA fee at $136 state cost, $130 crime victim assessment, $1,000 in court costs. Ms. Mohammed, you do have the right to appeal. And if you'd like to appeal and you cannot afford an attorney to assist you in that,
She got sentenced to life. We are here today so the attorneys can fight their appeal. So we have opening arguments. And we will start with the prosecution and opening arguments. Are y'all ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you're up.
First and foremost, hello, my name is Emmanuel, and I stand before you as the District Attorney for the state of Wyoming. Today we are here to seek justice, to uphold the law, and to ensure that truth prevails. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, thank you for your attention today, for being here. Today, we are here to seek justice for a tragic and senseless loss. The evidence will reveal a story of a life taken, a plea ignored, and a family shattered. A life was ended. On that fateful day of March 2022, Sakina Muhammad made a choice that would alter the course of many lives forever. She took the life of Quan Winston, a man who, by all accounts, was attempting to leave a situation with nothing more than diapers and baby wipes. A man who pleaded for his life, yet found his pleas falling on deaf ears. She took away a father to an 11-month-old. That baby is now fatherless. Muhammad took away a son from a mother who is now childless. As the evidence unfolds, you will hear about a chilling text message sent by Sakina where she explicitly stated her intent to kill someone, to unalive someone. Furthermore, her immediate declaration of being single on social media after this heinous act suggests a level of premeditation and a callous disregard for the consequences of her actions. Let me repeat. After this woman took the life of her boyfriend and father of her baby child, she went on X, formerly known as Twitter, and posted, quote, "single as a MF." The prosecution will try and convince you that this is a simple case of self-defense. They will paint Miss Muhammad as a poor victim of an abusive relationship who feared for her life after Mr. Winston appeared in her apartment. They will bring up a restraining order, but it is all bogus and deceptive. Throughout the trial, we will hear testimony from neighbors who heard Mr. Winston begging for Miss Muhammad to let him go, but she ignored him. She consciously premeditated this incident and did it with a GUN, a pow-pow, that she did not legally own, and she lied to law enforcement on how she obtained this pow-pow. The restriction order that the defense will bring up is irrelevant. It is irrelevant because in spite of the restriction order being granted to Miss Muhammad, she had been living with him months after the order was granted. The question before you is whether this man, with diapers and baby wipes in his hand, posed such a threat that the only response was a fatal pow pow in the head. It is important to consider not only the isolated incident, but also the broader pattern of behavior leading up to the tragic moment. The testimony from neighbors will help to paint a more complete picture of the relationship dynamics and may offer insights into the factors that contributed to the escalation of violence. Testimony will also tell us that in this toxic relationship, Miss Muhammad was the one who would initiate most arguments, to the point that Mr. Winston had to defend himself, which led to that restraining order being put against him. Mr. Winston's mother has admitted to this toxic relationship between her son and Miss Muhammad. She herself saw her son with marks on his body, bite marks and scratches to be exact. But like many other abused men, he was embarrassed and reluctant to come out and speak out against this. Miss Muhammad ran away after committing this crime. Had this been self-defense, she would have called the police. Instead, she ran. She hid from the law. She did not call the police. Evidence will show that the scene of the crime is incompatible with one of a self-defense case. Let me reiterate that 30 minutes after the crime, she tweeted single as a MF. She didn't tweet that she was free of an abusive relationship. She boasted to the world that she was available to other men. As you can see, Miss Muhammad's demeanor, she has zero remorse. As we seek justice for Quan Winston, we will present a comprehensive narrative that takes into account not only the immediate circumstances, but the historical context that may have played a role in the events leading to his death. As we proceed to this trial, I will ask you to keep in mind the magnitude of the choices made that day and the impact of the young life that was left behind, and a daughter now without her father. We will seek truth and we will ask for justice on behalf of Quan Winston. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Is there anything you need me to show?
Yes, Your Honor. Please show Exhibit 1.
Okay. Is that the right exhibit?
Yes, Your Honor. This is who we are charging, and we are asking for life without parole. Please look at her facial expression. Does this look like someone who has any remorse? Can you please show exhibit number 2, Your Honor?
Sure. One moment, please. Is that the right one?
No, Your Honor, it's another picture.
Okay. Well, let me stop the screen there. Okay, 1 second. You said it was another picture you sent?
Yes.
Okay, let me just go back to the file and get that evidence for you in the court. Just hold on 1 second and let me get the other piece of evidence for the team. Okay. Okay, I think I have it. Okay, 1 second. Is that the other piece of evidence you want the people to see?
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is a picture of Mr. Quan Winston, whose life was taken. As you can see, a loving father who is there holding his baby girl, who will never see him again because of Sakina Muhammad.
Prosecution, I appreciate you. And we appreciate all the evidence in your opening statement that you presented before this court. Is there anything else you want to say, or can I move on to the defense team, the U2 law?
Good evening, Your Honor, and good evening to all the jurors. As you can now hear and you can see, this is a very difficult and tough case. Sakina, Legacy, Halima, Muhammad. At the time of this unaliving, she was 21 years of age. She had been in a long-term relationship with Quan Andre Winston Jr. But I'm here to say, unlike the prosecution, that this was a long-term abusive relationship. As you all may have realized by now, Ms. Muhammad has already admitted to having unalived her boyfriend. She has taken accountability for that. But why we are here is because the state of Michigan, its laws, when you are charged with first-degree M and felony of a firearm, results in life in prison without the possibility of parole. Miss Muhammad is now about 24 years of age. We anticipate she will have a long life, a very long life. 50 years, 60 years, 70 years incarcerated behind bars. I appreciate the prosecution bringing into evidence that photograph. He was focusing on her facial expression. What I saw was how petite, how small, almost childlike Miss Muhammad is in that photo. Look at what a year of being incarcerated has done to her already. So let's get to some of the facts in this case. I'm going to focus on that loving father, Mr. Winston. I am reading from the local Wyoming press. The Wyoming Police Department says the pair were found at home in Grand Rapids. The pair they're speaking about is Miss Muhammad and her beautiful little daughter, Ava. After this incident happened, Miss Muhammad went to the home of her mother, like so many of us would. The Wyoming Police Department announced Monday that the 11-month-old girl who had been missing following a domestic disturbance that turned D had been found safe. Authorities said the mother of the 21-year-old is now in custody. She's a person of interest, they said at that time. She was found at their home on Taft Avenue. That is where she lived with Mr. Winston. The Wyoming Police Department said the pair were found in Grand Rapids in the home of the mom. In the district court records obtained by 13 on Your Side, they learned that Mr. Winston, the boyfriend, was charged with DV against Miss Muhammad multiple times since 2019. In November of 2019, aggravated assault, DV. March 2020, aggravated assault, DV. Assault with great bodily harm, less than M, or strangulation. January 2022, 6 weeks prior to this incident, he was charged with aggravated assault, assault with great bodily harm, less than M, or strangulation. Mr. Winston pled guilty to all of those charges. and he was to be at court on March 22nd to have his plea formally placed into the record. Well, as we know, he was unalive before then. Now, you must know that Miss Muhammad had not one, but 2 restraining orders against Mr. Winston. Now, let's talk about the legal narrative of a restraining order. Restraining orders are used to ensure safety and protection for those in need and can be granted to people of all genders, ages, and races. To qualify for a restraining order, individuals may have experienced abuse through physical or financial harm or threats of any type of any harm. Well, what are the consequences of violating a restraining order? Because yes, the night of this incident, Mr. Winston, of which has not been confirmed by this legal team, was at the home of Miss Muhammad. We don't know anything about any Pampers and some baby wipes. But what we do know, there was a very loud disagreement. And according to our client, Miss Muhammad, he began to strangle her and put her into a chokehold. This is 6 weeks after he had pled guilty to DV, and he is back again in the home. Now, what are the consequences of violating a restraining order? Violating a restraining order can have serious consequences to the violator. If a person violates the order, they can be charged with contempt of court, and if found guilty, they may face possible jail time. Furthermore, violating a restraining order could result in fines or even the revocation of bail or probation that the violator is currently under. So I'm asking the jury to take a moment. You know you're pleading guilty to 3 counts of DV and assault. You've been told to stay away. According to Miss Muhammad's attorney, whose name is Anthony Green, Miss Muhammad's boyfriend, was staying at the home of his grandmother. Yes, the police alleged that they were living together again, but according to our attorney, he was living with his grandmother, and he decided he wanted to go see the baby. He didn't make a phone call, he didn't text, he didn't say he was coming. And yes, there was an argument, a very loud argument, which resulted in the 2 of them becoming physically violent to the point where Miss Muhammad was in the grasp of Mr. Winston's hands around her throat. She had a registered legal firearm in the home. And at that time, that's what she used to defend herself. There is a stand your ground law in the state of Michigan, and we will further look into that law. But before I move on to the next part of this trial, this case, for this appeal on behalf of Ms. Muhammad, I remind you, she's about 24 years of age. She has been sentenced to life in prison with no parole. I'd like, if I may, Your Honor, just to add for the record a few quotes from Mr. Green, Ms. Muhammad's attorney. He says that his client has been repeatedly assaulted. She responded in self-defense. Ms. Muhammad, 21 of Wyoming, He says he is shocked that she was charged. She should have never been charged. Hopefully, this will not evolve into a worse result for her. Ms. Muhammad has also gone on to say for herself in her own words that he has choked her on 2 separate incidents. She was not able to breathe. She told the police she had tried to pry his hands from her neck. She called 911 before he threw the phone out the window. Dispatch records show that a 911 call was disconnected and the dispatcher could no longer reach the victim. Winston, the boyfriend, pleaded no contest on March 2nd to a charge of aggravated assault and domestic violence, a 1-year misdemeanor. Yet, he still chose to go to the home on March 13th, 2022. I close for now, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, jurors, you heard both sides' opening arguments. And I would say to the jurors, before we go and let the attorneys present any other evidence that they may want to present, does anyone from the jury have a question?
Oh,
I have a question. You said that she had a firearm. Was that firearm registered to her?
Yes, it was.
Okay, appreciate that. Juror Wayne, do you have any questions? Are you there, Wayne? Any questions?
I didn't hear you say 3. How long have they been dating?
They started dating in high school. Exactly when? I'm not certain.
Okay.
Appreciate that. Juror Leo, do you have any questions?
yes, I do, Judge Diva. Defense YouTube law. Were you able to produce the paperwork of this registration for this firearm?
No, I was not, but it was confirmed by the Wyoming, Michigan police.
Thank you.
I can present that to the judge for you all when you're reviewing the case.
Okay. Juror Shan, do you have any questions?
And how long was the restraining order before the incident?
January of 2022 was the last time that they were in court for that restraining order, and when he pled guilty, and they were to return March 28th. So this happened on the 13th, so this was 6 weeks thereafter.
Thank you.
All right. Jonah, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you. Stay blessed, beautiful people. Okay. To my district attorney side, do you have anything you want to say before I present one more thing?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, we have heard the defense describe the incident of that night, but we will now like to present to the jury witness testimony of neighbors who were actually near and heard the situation the day of the incident. So if you could please play that.
Okay, sure. I will go to that while I pull that up. I do want to say that the family had a word to say, and we're going to just play that, and then I will pull up your evidence.
Thank you.
And the first rule of marketing, never.
Just give me a minute.
Woman now officially charged in the shooting death of her boyfriend. Her attorney says she was defending herself, but the mother of the man says it's a different story. 13 on Your Side's Nate Belt spoke with her tonight.
Now, Juliet, Takesha Nelson says her son, Quan Winston, should still be alive today. His girlfriend, Sakina Muhammad, claims she acted in self-defense in the shooting, but Nelson doesn't believe that.
I don't think it really set in yet.
Takesha Nelson still can't believe her son, Quan Winston, is gone. Winston's aunt, Lanika Wilson, says there was never any indication his girlfriend would shoot him.
They seemed happy, smiling, sitting on each other's laps, hugged up.
On Wednesday, court documents revealed that Sakina Muhammad was charged in the homicide of Winston. Her lawyer, Anthony Green, says she acted in self-defense because of a history of domestic abuse.
This has been reported to the police over a long period of time about the abuse that she was suffering from this individual, okay? And nothing was done. Charges would be brought, they'd slap him on the wrist, and then they'd let him go.
But Nelson alleges it was Muhammad who abused her son.
Cuts, scars, scrapes. I've seen my son with a lot of bite marks, scratches, just hand, because he getting hit stuff.
Now, Nelson acknowledged that her son has previously been charged with domestic violence, but she alleges that Muhammad exaggerated the truth. We reached out to the Kent County Prosecutor's Office, which could comment on the pending case. The couple's 11-month-old daughter is with Muhammad's mother tonight. Juliet.
Okay. In 1 second to your team. Let me bring back up your other piece that you want me to show. Okay. This is the one, right?
Correct.
Emmanuel? Okay.
Witnesses in the case of a Wyoming woman charged with killing her boyfriend. Police say Sakina Muhammad killed Quan Winston at her apartment on Taft Avenue back in March. 13 on Your Side's Carla Byron joining us now in the newsroom with a recap of the preliminary hearing this morning. Carla, who testified today?
Well, Kirk, we heard from neighbors, police officers, and detectives today. Muhammad's attorney says she shot and killed her boyfriend, Quan Winston, in self-defense. However, two of the state's witnesses claim Muhammad was the aggressor. Two witnesses who lived in an apartment on Taft Avenue beneath defendant Sakina Muhammad say they heard Muhammad and her boyfriend, Quan Winston, arguing the evening of the shooting on March 13th.
So he was about ready to leave, or trying to leave. But I could hear her screaming at him and saying that he's gonna die, and he's gonna die tonight or something.
He was asking her, please let me go. And she goes, no, bro, you're dead.
A single gunshot was heard, and police say Muhammad left the scene and didn't call 911. One of Winston's acquaintances testified Muhammad texted her the morning of the shooting.
Then she didn't respond until Sunday, 4:26 a.m. And she said, finna kill a LMAO, what you doing?
A Wyoming police detective testified Muhammad said Winston appeared at the apartment that night and they had an argument outside the back apartment door. He started to choke her and she felt she was going to die.
So she said she grabbed the gun and at some point it went off. She mentioned she was just trying to scare him, but then the gun went off, he let go of her and she left.
However, the detective says Muhammad changed her story about where she found the gun. Her first story was it was in a nightstand at the bottom of the staircase, and the second, it was in the closet outside her apartment door. Muhammad's facing an open murder charge, which is a felony punishable by up to life in prison. The judge lowered her bond to $100,000 cash surety. Another witness still has to testify. However, a new court date has not been set.
Anything you'd like to say about your evidence you just presented? District Attorney Manuel?
Please remember what that witness said. Miss Muhammad said, I'm going to KILL him. LMAO. Laughing my A out.
Whew. I appreciate you. YouTube Law.
Thank you, Your Honor. You know, a lot of these young people, they use social media to express things that in the past many folks would verbally say. So that text that Ms. Muhammad sent should not be taken literally by this jury. That was an expression that we've heard many times people verbally say, and since so many young people use text messages, that's what they write. But I would like to bring in my piece here in countering the prosecution some information that Mr. Green, her attorney, shared with the courts. He said that Mr. Winston, and I quote, he had been ordered out of the apartment. He was not in the apartment. He was living with his grandmother. He returned and wasn't invited to return. The fact that he was there in violation of a court order creates presumption. The use of force against him is reasonable. He said it was reasonable for Muhammad to believe that her life was in danger. He went on to say that Miss Muhammad had been brutalized by Mr. Kwan over many years. Just in January, he broke her nose, fractured her jaw. She spent a great deal of time in one of the shelters for abused victims. Mr. Green went on to say that he blamed the judicial system, saying it failed Ms. Muhammad because it didn't adequately respond to previous DV by Mr. Winston. Mr. Winston was twice charged with strangling her, first in March of 2020 and again in January of 2020. As I had said to the jury and to this court earlier, he was scheduled to be sentenced 2 weeks after he was unalived. Mr. Green went on to say that Mr. Winston got a slap on the wrist instead of adequate punishment or mandated counseling to try to curb his abusive behavior. He said he just felt he could do whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. He thought he owned her, possessed her, and could take her life if he wanted to. He has threatened her on so many occasions. Why wasn't something done before it had reached that point? Thank you, Your Honor.
I appreciate you. Do you need me to show this video y'all have?
Are we moving to closing?
Okay, we are about to move into closing arguments.
Right before my co-counsel comes up, if you would play that, Your Honor.
Okay. It's whose team wants to close first? The district attorney. Do y'all want to go to your closing? Did we lose your district attorney, Emmanuel? Did we lose her?
Yes, we're going to need a second, please.
Okay, we'll give you a second. YouTube Law, would y'all like to do your closing arguments?
Your Honor, I believe we will go second.
Okay, we're losing people. We're losing jurors. We're losing people.
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, I know you're here. Thank you, Marcella. Okay, so is your lawyer coming back? Oh, I think your deputy is here. Okay, Deputy Attorney E, your closing arguments.
My apologies, Your Honor. Can you please repeat that?
Is you're up for closing arguments?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm.
Your Honor, members of the jury, have you ever met an arrogant, vindictive, and violent woman, a loudmouth woman, who thought she could beat the system just because she was a woman. A community terror, in fact. Well, that's what this case is about. Today, you are deciding whether or not a woman should be granted an appeal after committing a premeditated crime. Earlier today, we heard heart-shattering testimony from Kwan's aunt and mother, who stated Kwan was their best friend, a loving dad, and a beloved son. We heard the emotional and gut-wrenching account of this family stating Miss Shekinah Muhammad taunted the family of her victim, driving by that family's home, laughing in their face, and arrogantly posting online that she was going to get away with it. And not just the family. You just saw testimony from one of Winston's acquaintances testifying that Muhammad texted her the morning of the homicide. And the text read, "I'm gonna KILLANIGGA, laughing my ASS off. What you doing?" That's what the text read. This was a man whose family observed bite marks on him and scratches from mutual combat, despite him pleading guilty to DV previously. We're talking about a man whose greatest accomplishment was being a father. And this woman who was taunting him with the paternity of an infant baby who he believed to be his. He wanted to be his. One day she was screaming for him to come and get the baby. And then the next day, "Oh, the baby's getting on my nerves. She's not yours anymore." Just cutting this man to his core. This is a woman who was reported for smoking marijuana while pregnant, initiating physical altercations while pregnant, and left this poor little baby girl an orphan by taking away her father. The defense let us know there was a very large argument right before Muhammad launched her attack on the deceased. We weren't there, but are we really going to believe a 24-year-old who repeatedly drives past the family's house of the man whose life she took and is threatening them too? Are these the actions of a scared victim? Is that really the actions of a woman who is scared for her life? We have to ask ourselves. What we do know is that there were two witnesses who lived in the apartment below. They said that they heard the two arguing. They said he was trying to leave. And they could hear her screaming at him and chasing after him, saying that he was going to DIE tonight. He was asking her, the witness said, "Please let me go." And she goes, "No, bro, you're DEAD." Okay? She antagonized him. She provoked him. She invited him over with the intent to commit the crime in which she committed. Despite requesting and being granted a protective order, she let him in. The defense wants us to presume that she had every right to defend herself, but there was no sign of forced entry. We cannot presume that he came with malicious intent if he came over with bottles, diapers, and milk. Those are not the actions of a man who came over to assault you, especially when you're sending text messages to his acquaintances that he was going to DIE before he even arrived. And then afterwards, we saw and we heard about the text messages. I mean, not the text messages, the Instagram post. "I'm single AF." And then you also must ask yourself, those who are victims and you have this paperwork on file. You called the police, you set the paper trail, but then after you commit the crime, you run. You go on a hiatus. The police, you turn yourself in 24 hours later. Those are not the actions of a woman who is ready to come forward and tell the truth, and a woman who has been victimized. You called the police any other time to get the restraining orders, but on the night this happened, you start running. Something's not right. We also heard the police say that, and in the testimony we just heard previously, that Miss Muhammad lied about where the gun was. The defense wants us to believe that the young lady was being attacked during this last encounter. But when she makes her account to the police, she can't tell you where she found the gun or the pow-pow. One moment it's under the pillow, the next is outside. There are too many inconsistencies with this story. But what we do know is baby Ava is without her father, and an aunt is without her nephew, and a mother is without her son. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have heard closing arguments from the prosecution. Now, prosecution, this is your last call. Do you have a paralegal here that needs to speak?
You may resume, Your Honor.
Okay, I appreciate that. You two law, are you ready?
Is she up there?
Yeah, she's here. Yeah, are you ready, you two law?
I'm talking about our paralegal, Your Honor. I don't see it.
You want your, no, she's not. Do you need her to come in the building?
Yes, please.
Okay. Tay, please report to court. In the meantime, can I play your video? Do you want me to play your video?
I'm here, Judge. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, I don't know what happened to the paralegal. So if you don't
She's
mind,
coming. She's here. She's here.
okay, she's going to make her statement, please.
Okay, go ahead, paralegal. You make your statement. This is for the YouTube attorneys, the defense team. Go ahead, Tay. Tay, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead and speak.
Good evening, Your Honor and jury. This woman is trying to save her life and her baby. She's fear this man gonna hurt her because she's fear her life and her baby. Your Honor, may I ask the jury? Is that be okay with you, Your Honor?
Yes.
Jury and the people in the court, if you was in her shoes, what you do if this man put his hand on you? What you do? Do you want to use a pow or wrong way? Are you fear your life or your child? Because not only did she have one or two, she had two resident orders against him for the to her. If this was you, what you do? What you do? That's all I gotta say, dear Your Honor.
Okay, thank you so much, Tay. Can you go ahead and report back in the streets, and we'll call you in when we need you. Okay, so drop down.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, so go ahead. The defense team, do you want me to present your video?
Yes, please, Your
please.
Honor.
In Wyoming. Brian Sakina Mohammed is still in the Kent County Jail, identified as a person of interest, but not charged in the shooting death of her boyfriend, Quan Winston, who is the father of their 11-month-old child. Records show the couple had a volatile history, but not just with each other.
She was not a nice person.
Ahmad Salih says he had never seen the couple until their run-in at the Secretary of State's office at Rogers Plaza 2 years ago. He had taken his 16-year-old daughter to get her first license to drive.
So he's very excited. I was excited for her.
He says the girlfriend, later identified as Sakina Mohammed, who was pregnant, loudly accused his daughter of cutting in line.
I just told her, hey, this is a 16-year-old. You shouldn't be, cussing and talking like that.
As dad and daughter were leaving, still inside the plaza, Mohammed's boyfriend, later identified as Quan Winston, confronted them.
Talking to my girlfriend like that?
And pull out a gun.
Little young kid with a gun this big. Like, what are you doing in a public place at the Secretary of State?
Winston and his girlfriend then left, but police later got a warrant to arrest him. Court records also show that Winston recently pleaded no contest to trying to strangle his girlfriend twice. Once in March 2020, when she grabbed a pair of scissors to defend herself, and again this past January. After she failed to show up for court, Winston pleaded no contest to less serious assault charges in both cases. He was supposed to be sentenced on March 28 for those crimes and for the assault at Rogers Plaza. But late Sunday, the girlfriend's parents called police to report she had been in a domestic dispute with Winston. Police found Winston shot to death in the couple's apartment on Taft Avenue. They identified Sakina Muhammad, the girlfriend, as their only person of interest. Kent County Prosecutor Chris Becker says he expects to make a decision on possible charges in this case tomorrow. At the live desk, I'm Target 8 investigator Ken Coulter.
To make something sweet. Anything else you need me to show?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, closing arguments, please.
Yes, thank you, Judge. Thank you, jury. Thank you, court. Okay, the prosecutor wants to print like this man was an angel. He was walking on earth. He has no faults. This man was a terrorist. He terrified this girl. Not only did she leave to go to a DV home, she went to the police and got restraining orders. What would you do if a man keeps putting his hands on you? It's so much this woman can take. She's not even a full woman yet. She's still a girl turning into a woman and raising a baby. And being pregnant at the same time, that's come with a lot of emotions. She had her baby. She did what she thought she needed to do by getting the restraining orders. And as you seen at the door, she didn't let him in. He busted in. He came to her house to cause violence to her. Yes, the prosecutor saying that she asked him with the pow pow. Okay, how many times am I going to let you ask me before I do something to retaliate to defend myself? I don't know if any of y'all went through that situation where somebody is choking you out, or you feel that you don't have no breath to breathe. And you got tears in your eyes because you're thinking of yourself. You're not even thinking of yourself. You're thinking of your child. But you losing your last breath trying to get this man. Yes, he got marks on him. He got marks on him. Why do he have bite marks on his hand? Probably because she was trying to bite him to get him off her neck. Why do he have scratches on his hand? Probably because she was clawing his hand to get it from around her neck. Yes, you can say that, you can show pictures saying that he's a loving father. Satan was a loving man behind Jesus' back. In front of Jesus' face, in front of God's face. But when he was behind God's back, he was a whole different scenario. I can put on a pair of Louis Vuittons and walk down the street, but I can also change those names and they can be a pair of Ballies. You can't yes, she did this. We know this, but she had also the stand your ground law. The stand your ground law means that anybody that's causing physical harm to you or anybody around you, you have the right to defend yourself, even if that means death to the other person. In my case, do you think I'm going to let somebody K me? Or am I going to do the opposite to protect and do what I have to do for myself to get myself out that situation? Yes, I honestly believe my client went through a turmoil lifestyle. Yes, she probably put in, but I'm a KILL somebody today. How many of us not did that to one of our kids? How many of us have not said that to, girl, my friends or whatsoever? You didn't come, girl, I'm a KIL you. But did we mean that? Or is that a word of saying in our paragraphs or in our sentences or in our statements? You cannot take what somebody wrote on a text with LMAO. Obviously, she wasn't even serious about it, because if she was serious about it, the LMAO would have never even been there. You have to go back to the substance of the problem. The problem lies with him. As you saw, he went out there to cause harm to this man that was taking his daughter to get her driver's license. He was a menace. And if he didn't harm her, Who to say he wasn't going to harm somebody else? You don't walk up to a stranger and show them a gun unless you planning on pulling the trigger. I was taught that a long time ago. I was taught that in the military. You don't show those actions unless you want some other reaction to happen with that. So as I say, Your Honor, the court, the prosecution, you want to vilify this girl, but y'all want him to walk free. No, it wasn't right for her to take his life, but what would you have done? Do you want her to be gone? I mean, make it make sense. You have to realize the situation. This girl tried to get away from him. She tried her best. She went to he did the steps. She went to the police office, to the police station. She went to the DMV homes to get away from him. If that's something y'all saying premeditated to sit out there to do this, she could have did that a long time ago. And then you put out that she left when she did that. Obviously, she was scared. And if she was in her right mind, maybe she would have stayed there. But if you're not in your right mind and the other situation that happened with him, yes, she called the cops and stuff like that because he was still breathing. But this situation, he wasn't breathing. And she didn't understand. She was confused. Maybe she snapped. But you can't vilify her for something when she tried to do the right steps from the beginning. Yes, you say she was laughing and running around saying she's free. Me, myself, if a man and beat me, then tried to take my life, then did all this stuff, and the parents saying that they didn't see this. Yes, you did. You did see this. But you only seeing one side because your side is gone. But you got to put yourself into that young girl's shoes to understand what she was going through. And that's all I got to say.
I appreciate you. You'll watch your words. Be easy with the words. You know, there's certain words we cannot say. Listen, that was closing arguments from both sides. And we appreciate all the hard work that was done on this case. Yes, please stop saying that word. We appreciate all the hard work that was done on this case. We heard closing arguments. We're about to have the jury go into deliberation. But before that, our street reporter has entered the building. Is there anything from the streets that you need to tell us?
So there was a little bit of confusion with the opening statements regarding about the pow pow. Was it illegally obtained or was it legally attained? And if I heard right, which I shared in the chat, that it was legally obtained. So I just wanted to bring it to both the prosecution and the defense's attention with that. Also, there was another question about, was he a legal resident? I thought I heard that he was, but they had to separate. I could be wrong. That could be speculation on my end. But those are the two common themes, and also about the baby.
Okay, so hold on, street reporter. Okay. Would and either side like to clear up the question that the street reporter brought into the courtroom?
I would like to answer that, Your Honor. Yes, it was a legally registered pow pow in her name, and Mr. Winston was ordered by the courts to leave the home, to not be there, to not be nearby, no contact. That was a direct order from the court.
I appreciate you. Your second question. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Also, Your Honor, there are 4 minutes asking to be brought in. I'm more than willing to drop down at this point. And so is juror number 1. I understand that she was dropped off.
Okay, they could come in, give me a minute. You get one more question, street reporter, because we got some other people to bring in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so what's the other question you would like to have them clarify?
I would also like to clarify another question that was just brought to my attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I did answer it in the chat, and it's regarding of the little baby. From my recollection of the case, I heard that the baby was in the home. But I wanted to bring it to the prosecution and the defense's attention to clarify that for the audience, please.
The baby was in the home and she left the home with the baby to go to her mother's home.
Thank you very much.
Street reporter, we appreciate all your hard work on this case today. You can go back to the streets, and we asked the bailiff to come back in the building to give the final words. The bailiff, if you are there, can you please come back into the building? And what juror are we missing?
We're missing juror number 1.
Savannah?
Yes.
Okay. After the bailiff leaves, can Savannah come back in the building? The bailiff, in my opinion, are you there? Okay, I'm not quite sure where the bailiff is, but Savannah, can you come back in the building? Savannah, can you come back in the building? We want to deliberate this case. And yes, the bailiff actually sent me a message, and she said the people are asking, why does it appear like your client doesn't seem remorseful?
Based on the introductory video, Your Honor, I did not see the part play where she apologized to her daughter in that courtroom. She is deeply sorry, and she is feeling a great deal of remorse. Our client is asking for the right to appeal the sentencing of life in prison with no parole. Thank you.
Thank you. And District Attorney Emmanuel, or E, the Deputy Attorney, is there anything else you would like to say?
Well, I would. There are 2 things. One, we just saw a video of...
Your Honor, I object. If she wants to answer a question from one of the jurors or one of our public jurors, I agree. Another personal comment, Your Honor, or further trying to build their case, I object to. Thank you.
I object, Your Honor. The defense just gave an elaborate question and added more to the question that was not part of it. So I think we deserve.
What part was that?
Okay.
Please?
Okay.
So I think we deserve at least one more sentence from.
No, I object, Your Honor.
Order in the court. Order in the court. We will give the prosecution a moment to say one more thing, and then we will go to the jurors.
Your Honor, if they're bringing in additional evidence or hearsay, then we have the right to counter.
Okay.
I was answering the facts. The question was, where was the baby? The baby was in the home with the mother. They asked, was it a legal registered pow in her name? Yes, it is, confirmed by the Wyoming, Michigan police.
Okay, I'm going to allow the prosecution to say one more thing.
So thank you, Your Honor. It was the state has evidence to show that the defense team has misled the jury in such a way because...
Your Honor, if she is
Your Honor, please let her finish. Please let our deputy finish. She has something important to say.
The judge has to rule. Judge has to rule. The
Please rule it, Your Honor. Please rule it.
This trial is over.
All right. Okay. Order in the court. Order in the court. What I want to do here at this point, I will let the jury, if they have any questions, and just like the defense team was able to answer some questions, I got to give the district attorney office to say something. Okay, because all those questions, the defense attorneys were able to answer. So I'm gonna give the defense, the prosecution a moment.
Thank you.
Okay.
You could allow them, Your Honor, to introduce new evidence that they
they're not going to introduce new evidence to my understanding. Am I correct, District Attorney?
You are
Yes,
correct.
we're just clarifying
Okay, go ahead.
a piece of testimony that was entered previously.
Well, you had an opportunity.
Excuse me,
to
Your Honor. I thought
clarify
I was
that
given the
earlier.
opportunity.
I'm going to give
Your
them.
Honor, we kept getting interrupted.
Go ahead.
So the prosecution must make clear to the jury and all those deciding on if an appeal should be granted that the piece of evidence the defense team has shown regarding Mr. Winston getting into an altercation with the 16-year-old girl and that person's father, that altercation was started by that young lady who is currently on trial and asking for parole. That young lady, who is 24 years old, went up to a 16-year-old girl and started using profanity and attacking this 16-year-old girl. And got
She was
into
not
it with
24 years old. I'm
well, she
sorry.
was
She was not
21 years
24.
old,
She was
attacking that
21, and she did
Your
not
Honor,
attack her. She jumped in front
objection,
of her.
the state speaks. And what happened was, what Shekinah Muhammad did was she went back to Quam, the person who she's so afraid of, and said, excuse me, objection, the state speaks.
Your Honor, you really need to bring in the bailiff.
No, the state speaks because it's time. No, it's time
Your
for
Honor,
truth.
30
It's time for
seconds.
truth.
Please allow us 30 more seconds.
They're going to get 30 seconds, please. No one overspeak them. Y'all introduce a video, and they have a right to say something.
But Judge, they should have.
Thank you, Your Honor.
When the video was
Your
shown.
Honor, please mute the defense. Please mute the defense. So
this is unfair. We object, Your Honor. We object.
So Shekinah Muhammad went to Quam, the man who she was terrified
you know
of.
this.
Said
what evidence did you introduce that is what happened? At what point?
Permission to treat
Deputy
this
Attorney,
Your Honor,
you have proof
please hold the
happened.
defense in contempt. Hold them in contempt.
We're gonna hold y'all. Y'all gotta calm down. I gave the prosecution an opportunity to speak. They have 30 seconds, and then we're going into deliberations. Please.
So when it says that Kwame got into it with that man in front of that 16-year-old girl, it was at the request of Shekinah Muhammad, who went to him, and after she started that altercation, by all witnesses' accounts, she went to him and said that the father had spoke to her in an inappropriate way. And because Quam loved her so much and wanted to defend her honor, he went up to that man in front of that 16-year-old girl who Shekinah Muhammad instigated a physical altercation with him, verbal altercation within public, a minor. And he defended her honor. So I just want to put that into context. We will not allow the deceased to be painted as a villain who does not have a voice. We will make sure that all facts are presented equally. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I would like to rebut that, because if you go back to the video, the man surely states that the man that Mr. Winston came up to him while that girl was still standing in line, while Miss Muhammad was still standing in line, and he saw them get into an argument with her, and he went up to ask that that man, did you was you just fussing with my girlfriend? So she didn't go back to him to ask him to go defend her honor. She did not, because she was still standing in line.
Actually, she did, and we have evidence.
No,
okay,
I saw
so
that.
We got order in the court. Order in the court. So I'm moving on because the jury is about to deliberate. So does the jury have any questions for, and if we're missing a juror, come back in the building because your space is open. Does the jury have any questions for the lawyers before you deliberate? And I need y'all to deliberate in a private chat, talk to each other, get your verdict together. Does anybody have any questions for the lawyers?
Your Honor, we are asking that the jurors have an opportunity, at least a minute, to give their feedback on what they've been so patiently and so honorably listening to. before they go in to deliberate as a group. That's what we request, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. So Wayne.
Yep.
Go ahead. Don't tell us your verdict. Just tell us any thoughts you might have.
Without
do you have any question? Because I don't want, because if they start talking, Felicia, then we're gonna know probably which way they're leaning. So no, they need to talk in the chat amongst themselves and then come back with a verdict. But do any of y'all have? Go ahead, Marcella. You have a question for the lawyers?
Yes. Unfortunately, according to the statute 6-2 202 of Wyoming, they have a stand your ground law. She has the right to defend herself, but she has to prove it. Was there enough significant evidence to prove that she had the right to take his life? The statute says she can defend herself. It's statute 6-2 202. She has the right to defend herself, but she has to prove it.
She had 3 restraining orders from the court.
I would like to piggyback on that. Were there any photos during the incident brought into evidence? Because the defense is arguing self-defense, but was there any photos of injuries or any tangible evidence that we can see?
Great question, juror. I truly appreciate that. No, there were not. There were no marks around her neck. This notion that she was being choked or strangled is completely false, because even if she was, how would she be able to obtain the weapon as she was getting strangled? It's false.
But didn't he admit to doing this because he got convicted in January?
Yes, but not in that incident. Not the night it happened.
No, not the night it happened. In January of 2022, he admitted to a judge that he was domestic. He had domestic violence against her.
He pled no contest.
He was going to be sentenced March 28th, correct?
He pled no contest.
Correct.
Yes, he was going to be sentenced on March 28th. But you asked a question about, what was the first question you asked, juror?
The first question was, wasn't he convicted in January? In March, he was going back for sentencing, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Sebastian, thank you for the super chat. I truly appreciate you. Jurors, can I send you off for deliberation?
I have one question.
Yeah, sure.
Has Muhammad ever been arrested? She's ever been to jail? Does she have a record?
No,
Anybody
she
know?
does not. No, she does not. She comes from a very intact family, strong community. She has a college education. No, sir. No previous records. None.
But I want to address the juror who asked, because before that, juror Marcella, you asked something else prior to the conviction. What was that question?
I believe my question wasn't he already convicted of domestic violence against her?
No, the question right before
she was
you said
asking
that,
if there was evidence of
the Michigan no stand your ground, and I answered
that's
Wyoming.
Thank you.
Wyoming. The Wyoming statute is 6-2 202. She has the right, but she still has to defend herself and prove.
Correct. And so thank you for asking that question, juror. I want to remind you of the evidence presented. Remember, before he even arrived, she had texted his friend and said that she was going to KILL him. So she had already put in her mind that she was going to do this. This was something premeditated before he even arrived to the residence. But we don't have any evidence to support that he came with malicious intent. I just want you all to remember that before you go into your deliberations.
And to answer question,
Was
Marcellus.
there any social work services involved since there is a minor? Since there is a child here, was social work services involved?
Thereafter or before? Before all the restraining orders or after the loss of life?
Before the loss of life.
That I do not know. But if I may, I'd like to read the Michigan Stand Your Ground
Yes,
law. Laws that deal with self-defense.
Wyoming, stand your ground.
No, it happened in
Wyoming,
Michigan.
Wyoming,
It-
Michigan.
Correct. It happened
Laws
in Michigan.
with self-defense have quite a bit of variance from state to state. Under the Michigan Stand Your Ground law, citizens can use D-force to protect themselves if they have reason to believe their life is in danger. Under the Michigan Stand Your Ground law, a person has no duty to retreat if they are being threatened unlawfully by another person. This law protects a person no matter where they are. This law is different from other laws in other states. However, in the state of Michigan, a person can use D-force and have no duty at all to retreat when there is an honestly held and reasonable belief that D-force must be used to prevent imminent death. A SA to you or another person, or to protect yourself or another person from great bodily harm, of which Mr. Winston had been charged twice with previously.
And jury, I must remind you all
Oh, God.
remember the evidence. Remember the evidence. The neighbors below said that he was trying to leave. The defendant was not in any imminent harm. The defendant was trying to leave and he was begging to leave, and she would not allow him. Remember the witness testimony you all heard when he was trying to leave and she kept preventing him. She replied, "No, bro, you're DEAD." So remember that. This woman was not in any imminent harm.
I have a question.
Close. Go ahead. Yes, your question.
Wasn't her door kicked in?
Yes,
The
you
door
can
was
see that
not
door was
kicked
kicked in. That door was kicked in. That's not a key entry into a door. And another thing about the witnesses, yes, they probably they said all that, but what would they? I'm
I
sorry.
need the
Okay,
jury
okay,
to
okay.
deliberate now. The people
Thank
are
you.
asking for the jury to deliberate now. I need y'all to go into deliberation, and I'm going to give y'all about 60 seconds. Talk in the private chat. Four-person, let me know your verdict. I'm going to ask the lawyers to drop out, and so they won't even see the private chat, and you cannot influence the jurors. And then as soon as the jury is ready, I will ask y'all to come back in the building. So everybody, we're going to give our YouTube law. I need you to drop down. Emmanuel, district attorney, I need you to drop down. I will call you back in. We need the jury to deliberate in private.
Fellow jurors, please meet me in the chat. Thank you.
The private chat, fellow jurors. Meet in the private chat.
So why can't we speak now that everyone is gone?
Because I don't want what do y'all want to speak out loud?
Yes, because I mean typing is very liberal, you know.
Okay, it takes a long time, so you can go ahead and speak. Okay, I'll allow y'all to speak since everybody's going. Go ahead.
So where I'm at, Diva, why you on the line?
Oh, whoa.
The judge ain't supposed to hear the jury deliberations.
Okay, I will go.
Okay, thank you.
Why we gotta deliberate in public?
I wanted to say something. I'm thinking this young lady is a first-time offender. Unfortunately, the state of Michigan failed them both according to their own law of stand your ground. She had a valid license for her weapon, and what I see, he kicked in the door. He dismissed his restraining orders, and there was domestic violence between the couple in the past. But I think that she should be granted an appeal. I think that life imprisonment is too much for her. I believe she left the scene of the crime because she was scared and she wanted to get her child to a safer ground, even though she ran. You know, telephones today with chats and everything make our children think in a young thing, but I think that she put LAMO. She was not serious about deleting this person, but I feel that the stand your ground law was not used effectively in the state of Michigan, because it says that they have the right to defend themselves. And there is a history of domestic violence. And he was the one, only he had been charged with domestic violence in the state of Michigan. And he defied a court order to stay away from her. According to everyone else, he lived with the grandmother. He came over there probably to get the baby. If he had diapers and wet wipes in his hands, he was taking the baby, and she didn't want it, and they got into a fight. There were no eyewitnesses from the neighbors that lived below them. They only could hear, and without being an eyewitness to actually see what's going on, it's considered hearsay in every court because there was no eyewitnesses. She left the scene, everything at the state security building, secretary building, that means nothing. That's just giving you a character of his character of being a violent person. And was the gun, was the pow that he had was registered to her and not him. So we found out that he was a menace to society from the beginning. Unfortunately, like I said, the state of Michigan is not following their own stand your ground law. And I feel that she should have the opportunity to come out. Not right away. I think that she should do sometime, but life for a 21-year-old, and now she's 24. You got to give her opportunity. He was to be sentenced in March. Even no content, that means that the state picked up the charges. When she did not show up in that courtroom, the state picked up they found it viable to continue with the case instead of dismissing it. So they picked up the charges, and they were going to sentence him according to what they felt. They knew that she didn't show up because he probably called her, hey, don't show up, and then they'll drop the case. They didn't. He pleaded guilty, no contents, and they were going to sentence him, which he would have got up to a year in jail. And because the mom seen bites and everything on him, it's already documented several times that he was the aggressor and that she did everything by law to protect herself. She got a protective order. She left the home and went to a domestic violence house. I think that she should be rehabilitated and be able to come out. But life for her is too much. And life in the state of Michigan is 60 years.
Okay, so Shan had a question. She said, are we arguing about guilty or not, or are we arguing to get an appeal or not? And the argument is for appeal. And my argument is for the fact of the matter is that I do feel like an appeal is not warranted at this moment. We got to deal with the person in the state of mind that they are in now. She is not remorseful, right? Even though, let's just say, because it's two things. For one, the story is inconsistent about how she got the pow during the powing. Even if she was within her right to defend herself, I do feel like it should be remorseful for the fact that you took the life of your baby father. At least present yourself with some form of decorum in the court for the fact that you took a human life. Is appeal warranted in this moment? No, she need a little bit more time. She needs a little bit more time. I say present her case again for appeal, but at this moment, I don't think so. Not for me at this time. Also, it is the statements of the witnesses, the hearsay witnesses, which you are correct, they did not see what happened, but they did hear what happened. And I do believe she was violently assaulted within the course of this relationship. And I also believe that she was done with this BS and she was ready to pow that day. She was done.
Leo, could she have snapped?
She could have. She could have snapped. She could have snapped. I feel as though two things can exist at the same time. Was he violent towards her? Yes, he was. Did they have a toxic relationship? Absolutely. Was she done with what was happening? She was. What you think, Shan?
Diva wants us to speak and then put our verdict in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, we all make mistakes. We're all flawed human beings. However, it's how we move forward, how we I'm sorry, my phone. How we, move forward, how we show that we're remorseful, what we do in order to show, we made a mistake, we're human, but we are sorry. And I have not seen any remorse, so I have to agree with Leo.
What say you, Savannah? Savannah? All right, Wayne, what say you?
Well, my thing is, everybody's entitled to an appeal. I would assume that everybody's entitled to appeal. And I'm sure that just because you want to appeal doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow or the next day. It takes some time. So you would put it in now. If I understood correctly, that life in Michigan is 60 years. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I would want to see her serve that much time. However, if that's the state, that's all we're working with M. And if that's the state's, conviction at 60 years, I mean, for the crime, not less the crime was reduced to another level where it could be like manslaughter or something like that. I don't know. Did they get her on first degree murder? I mean, first degree M, second degree, or voluntary manslaughter? If it's just straight up first degree, I mean, it's 60 years. Should she get an appeal? Yeah, I think so. I think
they're defying their own law. They have that stand your ground. They have it, and she's a first-time offender, and also he violated the protective order. He had several on him.
3 protective orders at that.
That is a great question. If it's first degree, I feel like after hearing, certain things, I'm realizing, yes, everyone is entitled to an appeal.
So wait a minute, the judge got to step in for a minute. You're going to put whether y'all agree that this girl is going to get off on this appeal that they just presented. They presented their case in the appeal. So either you're going to set her free and maybe she gets another sentence or she goes free, but y'all don't answer in front here. Y'all put it in the private chat after you speak. So you just speak and then you put in the chat your decision. The 4-person, y'all tally up those decisions. I'm going to bring the lawyers back in. And then the 4-person is going to tell us what your verdict is. Okay.
Hey, Diva.
Yes.
Just because if she got an appeal doesn't mean she get to walk. I mean,
wait. Listen, either we grant her the appeal because I want to get ready to close this case out. Either you granted her it or you did not. And you got to put it in the private chat after you have spoken. Okay. And then we will tally it up. And then I'll bring the lawyers back in and you get to say your verdict. Yes, Marcel.
Judge, did this defendant have the opportunity to take a psychological where they will know her chain of thinking? Everybody's saying she's not remorse, but I work with kids and sometimes their reaction could be giggling and smiling. It's a nervous giggle and a smile because they can't comprehend this. Is it possible that they gave her a psychological to consider an appeal?
They did not. They did not in this case. Okay, so I know Marcella has spoken.
But
Leo,
Diva, did you answer my
Savannah
question though?
hasn't spoken.
Diva.
Savannah has not spoken, y'all. We got 2 and 2. 2 for
no, but Leo, don't tell it here. They put it in the back chat. All y'all doing right now is y'all speaking, you're saying a couple words. You're gonna put in the private chat what your thoughts are, and then y'all gonna tally it up. And the audience is not gonna know until I bring the lawyers back in the building and we speak to the foreperson. Yes, Wayne.
But then, I don't know if you answered my question. My question, because my answer would be based on whether, because I mean, if they say she gets an appeal, does she walk and then come back with an appeal, or does she still go to jail and wait on her appeal? That's how I thought it goes. You go to jail and wait for your appeal.
She's still in jail right now. She would have to fight the appeal. But what I'm trying to say is this was their case to fight.
You're asking if we think she should get an appeal or not an appeal.
No. This was her appeal. We appealed the case. This was that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, you weren't clear, man.
Yes, we would. This was the appeal. We appealed her case. So are y'all convinced? Or are you
since
not?
we appealed her case, we have to decide if she's guilty or not guilty because this is the second trial. So we're essentially deciding guilty or not guilty.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Like somebody said, you can reduce the sentence. We're just having a mock trial here.
Okay, but Savannah hasn't spoken though.
I'm gonna let her speak. her speak. I just wanted to come in and clear that for you. So I will remove, please, with that being cleared, throw in the back chat, the private chat, what your thought is, and then the foreperson will come up with the information. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I've been trying to listen to both sides of this story with a non-biased opinion, because it is clear that this young lady has led a very volatile, violent, long history with this individual, and it's been violent on both sides. One of defense and aggressor. My heart goes out to first the child, little Ava, and one because that's the name of my grandchild, and I can just my heart breaks to see what kind of household she has had to endure in her few years of life she has had to endure. So, and for her to be with the aggressor, be with your dad's mother, and so I have tried to share that my biological father was a abuser and a tyrant to my mother, and I grew up in a very, very violent household, and my mother had to flee, and I grew up in the 70s and the 80s, where back then we didn't have the protective measures that are in place now, even though most of the measures really don't do much to protect men and women. But back then were even worse. We didn't have that many safeguards as they are now, where there's social media and shelters and things like that back in the 70s and the 80s. As some of us know, maybe Shan, you too young, bless your beautiful heart, but back then we didn't have some of the things that we had now. But my mom had to grab 7 children and be in the middle of the night and run from New Jersey to Miami, Florida, with 7 children to get away from a very abusive, violent man. And it took us 4 days to get there, with very little money. And this individual took his last breath last week. So I can only imagine what this 24-year-old, how violent her life must have been. So appeal, yeah, with some, my verdict is going to be for some form of appeal for her. Because this man had 3 restraining orders against him, and he violated each and every one. His family knew that there was some form of a violent relationship between both of them, and no one stepped in to separate these 2 individuals to protect that young child, whether it was from her or from him. Whether she was the aggressor or he was the aggressor, no one stepped in to save either him or her. And I agree should be some form of appeal or lesser sentence here. So
Okay,
that
so
will be my.
Savannah, I hate to interrupt, but now we got updated information. We're trying to decide whether or not she's guilty or not guilty. This was the appeal trial.
No, I'm sorry. Listen, I confused y'all. No, the lawyers called me and said no, they're asking for a pill or not. I do apologize.
Oh, okay.
So do you grant the appeal or not? Put it in the private chat. So can
okay.
we kind of wrap it up? I need the lawyers to come back in the building.
Okay.
The 4-person will speak and let us know whether or not y'all are granting this appeal or not. Okay. I need the lawyers to come back in the building. Lawyers, please return. Doc from NC, thank you for the Friday Surreal Entertainment. Listen, I appreciate you and thank you so much for the super chat. Please take the poll and we need the lawyers to come back through. Lawyers, we are calling you. Emmanuel, we need you in the building. District Attorney E, we need you in the building. Felicia, Katrina, we need you in the building because the jury is ready.
We have deliberated, Your Honor. It's in the private chat. Thank you.
Thank you. Savannah's sound is a little distorted. I'm going to ask one of the other jurors to kind of just give us, when the lawyers get in here, I want to ask another juror to give us the verdict on what y'all say, okay?
Yes, I will.
I thank you, Marcella. I appreciate you. Okay, we got the E. E and Emmanuel's here. E's coming through. Felicia and Katrina, we need you in the building because the jury has come back. The verdict is in. The verdict is in, everybody. The verdict is in. While we're waiting for the 2 lawyers to come, I want to thank our esteemed jurors for deliberating this case because it was hard. It's not an easy case. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. I need Felicia. I need the YouTube attorneys to come back in the building. Thank you.
Your Honor, I motion to have the appeal tossed out due to lack of representation by the defense.
We want to give them a moment to come back in. I'm going to call them again. If not, we will be moving forward. Oh, I think they're coming in. You 2 laws here. Where's your co-counsel? You 2 law, because we're ready to read the verdict. When this verdict is read, I will throw out anybody in this court that acts out of order. Yes, we did. They put in the real work tonight, and we want to appreciate all of them, everybody, for taking this very seriously. You 2 law, your co-counsel's not here, but I think we're going to have to move forward with the verdict. Are you okay? Can we move forward?
Give her a minute. Maybe she's trying to find a link like I was. There she is. Come on now, girl. Okay, now we're ready.
All right. All right. Marcella?
Your Honor, District Attorney and Defense Attorney, we have came up with the decision to appeal, but I would like each juror to be polled, if that's right. We have all appeals.
Okay, yes. You could go ahead and poll each juror. Marcella, call their name.
Leo?
Yes.
Shannon, what do you say?
Shan.
Savannah, what do you say?
Appeal.
Wayne, what do you say?
Appeal granted.
Shannon, what do you say?
Appeal.
Your Honor, we all have come to a decision of appeal. We wish for it to be granted.
Well, there you have it. We want to thank the District Attorney Emmanuel and Deputy Attorney E. You put forth a good case today, and the YouTube attorneys have been granted their wish. This case will go up for appeal. Can we get some final words from District Attorney Emmanuel?
I appreciate everyone's decision. Well, I will let you know your decision is dangerous. You're allowing a precedent in which anyone can take someone's life because they think that it's self-defense when it's not. That's all I have to say.
I appreciate you, District Attorney Emmanuel. Deputy Attorney E, your final words?
Well, I would like to thank Your Honor for your time as well as the jurors. And I'm pretty sure with this president, we'll be back for many more cases. So I'll see you next time.
I will see you next time. And I want to say much appreciated the hard work that you and your team brought forth in this courtroom today. Job well done. So YouTube law, your final words?
I want to thank everyone. The team, the paralegal for YouTube Law was just awesome tonight. And I love the love and the spirit and the passion of my co-counsel, Katrina. I thank all of the jurors. I appreciate the judge and the bailiff, and especially my YouTube family on these social streets, because I believe from here, we really do get this woman an opportunity to come on out of the situation that she's in. Thank you all. Very grateful.
Yes. Just so you know, I'm going to come to your co-counsel, but the people in the streets, some of them are not happy. Sebastian from the street said the jury was not right. They appealed a premeditated M, shaking my head. Okay. Katrina, final word.
Yes, I would like to thank everybody. I would love to thank my superior, Felicia, for bringing me on as her co-counselor. I love Tay Tay for speaking her mind. I appreciate everything that she said. Diva, Judge, I love you for your for your compassion and everything. And I would like to thank the jurors for listening to us, to understanding what we were saying, to see that this girl needs a chance. Because based on her life going, it's like she didn't have a chance. She was abused. She took the correct steps. And no, it's not showing that you can kill somebody you can chase somebody and get away with it. It's a thing of being abused and you snap and things happen that's not in order. And that's all I got to say.
I appreciate it. Jurors, it was go ahead, Ben. Yes.
I want to say, I don't believe that we got emotionally involved. We have to follow the core of the law. The law, there is a stand your ground law. And according to the statute 6.2, they wrote it. They wrote this. And she proved by getting the restraining orders, going to the DV, that should have been enough right there. But this is the law they wrote, and they did not abide by the law.
Y'all had the jury that have spoken. If you see the jury in the streets, don't be questioning them and don't get up in their face.
Don't unsubscribe from my page. Don't unsubscribe.
Hey, Diva.
We believe in second chances.
Yes. Let me tell you, I'm glad you reminded me, Marcel. Listen, guys, truly, truly, we hope you enjoyed it. We want to thank you for being here. And I want to say, Marcella, thank you so much for coming through. Marcella has a channel. Speak with your girl, Marcella. You know, we love to show all the love here. We like to spread the love. Great content creator. She contributed tonight to my channel. and much love. I truly, truly appreciate you. We have some other individuals up here that are starting channels and doing channels, and when they want to, at any given time, they can promote their channel over here on my channel.
And on my channel.
And
Yeah.
it's called Marcella Speak. It's called Marcella Speak.
No, speak with your girl, Marcella.
Speak with your girl, Marcella. Okay, girl, let me subscribe. Okay.
Yes, this is
I
right.
basically do financial things. I'm teaching people how to obtain wealth. I'm teaching people that encouraging people to register to vote. I just want everybody we need to come together.
Gotcha.
If we don't stand together, we're going to fall for anything. And this is crucial to all of our lives off of YouTube, your real life.
I love this, Marcella. It's a great banner there and a great background. Everybody see? Go over there.
And I do shorts. I dance every day and put a short down of the latest music and the old school music. I dance and I sing to those every day in my shorts.
Well, you looking like Melba Moore, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, beautiful, right? Yes, yes. So thank you, everyone. Listen, go over there, subscribe. I love this banner. Marcella is a great person, okay? And she's a good content creator. So go over there, learn something, learn how to handle and deal with your money, people. Okay. Speak with your girl, Marcella. Listen, guys, I want to thank y'all for being here. Go over there, like, subscribe, watch the video, hang out with Speak with your girl, Marcella. Listen, we will do court again. But I want to thank everyone because they put in the work, y'all. They put in the work. They had some great opening and great closing arguments, okay? We all took this seriously. Listen, the judge was in the building. Listen, I got to go, y'all. Don't forget. Y'all be cheating. Yes.
Diva, real quick. I just want to say I am really proud of Emmanuel.
Yes.
He gives me hope for the future. Because when I look at some of these young people, Gen Z, Gen X, whatever you want to call them, acting like fools, and this young man presented himself like he want to be somebody. This gives me so much hope for the future.
He's gonna make an excellent prosecutor.
Excellent, yeah. Whatever he's going to be excellent, whatever he does.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yes, Emmanuel did a great job. I was so
Great
proud.
job,
I was like,
Emmanuel.
yes, friend, yes.
Yes.
I thought I was in real court for a minute.
Oh, come on. Didn't you know? Didn't you know? Yes.
And E did her thing too.
Everybody.
Alicia too. Right. It was real in here. I thought I was in real court.
They need you, Emmanuel. But yes, great job. Everybody did an amazing job, and we will have court again. But as it stands right now in this courtroom, the YouTube law is 1-0. If I did that right. They won the case and they lost none. Okay, so they 1-0. And there you have it over here. YouTube court. Listen, guys, I love y'all. Gotta go. Okay.
Court is adjourned.
Thank you.
So my backup.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay, Wayne. Okay, I see you.
Don't make me go to the club and turn it out.
Don't go to the club, boo. Don't go to the club.
Hit the like button, y'all.
Hit the like button. Come on now. Hit the like button. We got a good show tonight. Come on now. Let's get up to them 100,000. Let's get up there.
Yeah.